Okay, welcome everyone to Zoom to Miracles with Kate and Shannon. Today's session will be kept a little bit shorter than usual. It's been guided that to keep it fairly short and sweet so that we can really get this focus in, and it's all about judgment. So now, we have already gone through this section a couple of months ago, and it is up on YouTube in a longer version. I think it's called the Children's Toys Analogy. So if you'd like to read along, it's chapter 29, section 9, The Forgiving Dream, page 622 of the Foundation of Inner Peace book. We'll just be reading through the first three sections, but before we read it, just like to preface it with that what he's brought in is he's going to get me to read, or Shannon and I to read, these three paragraphs. He'll guide us what to say. And so we're really trying to, this group is about a forgiveness practice for the week. So he's going to bring in a very sharp and clear forgiveness practice. So last week we did True Empathy, chapter 16, section 1, and we practiced all through the week. And so every day we were mindful of letting him come through us and not intruding the past upon our guests. So we're practicing that. And then the week before was defenselessness, lesson 153. Really strongly every day, mindful, waking up, noticing the defenses. So this week is going to be all about judgment. So they all dovetail into each other, but they kind of give a little focus, like a little spotlight or under the magnifying glass of a particular thing. And eventually they'll all work in your mind. One day you'll be going, oh yes, I can feel defenses arising. Other times you'll be like, oh yes, I'm aware of judging. Another time you'll be like, okay, I need to step back and let him speak through me. I need true empathy. So we're hoping to build up these practices for you so that you've got them, in your mind all the time. So these are weekly practices where each day of the week, as we go forward in the next week, you try to give them priority in your mind. Now, if you are still doing the lessons, that's fine to do them and then put this into practice as well. So let's read through the first three paragraphs of The Forgiving Dream. Shannon, did you want to say something now about judgment, or do you want to wait till we've read a little bit?
I think I'll wait till we've read a little bit.
Would you like to start off?
Sure.
Okay.
The Forgiving Dream. The slave of idols is a willing slave. For willing he must be to let himself bow down in worship to what has no life, and seek for power in the powerless. What happened to the Holy Son of God that this could be his wish? To let himself fall lower than the stones upon the ground, and look to idols that they raise him up. Hear then your story in the dream you made, and ask yourself if it be not the truth that you believe that it is not a dream.
A dream of judgment came into the mind that God created perfect as himself. And in that dream was heaven changed to hell, and God made enemy unto his Son. How can God's Son awaken from the dream? It is a dream of judgment. So must he judge not, and he will waken. For the dream will seem to last while he is part of it. Judge not, for he who judges will have need of idols, which will hold the judgment off from resting on himself. Nor can he know the self he has condemned. Judge not, because you make yourself a part of evil dreams, where idols are your true identity and your salvation from the judgment laid in terror and guilt upon yourself. Now, I'd just like to go through a couple of little things in that section, because that's where the key to this week's practice is. Judge not, and he will awaken. So judge not, and you will awaken. Judge not, and I will awaken. So if we can let judgment go, all judgment go, we will awaken. So if you want to awaken to the peace of God, if you want to have a free mind, we have to judge not. So part of this judging not is to work with Jesus and the Holy Spirit. We have to work with our inner guides around this judgment, right? So for all this week, we're just really going to focus our minds on the judgment in our minds. As you go through your whole day, become much more aware of when there's judgment in your mind. So the idols that he talks about in this section, he talks about the Son of God that let himself fall lower than the stones upon the ground. I think we can all relate to that. At some stage, we have really felt like we're lower than the stones, like absolute hell. And we look to idols to raise us up. We look to our body, other bodies, a job, something in the dream, something in the world to raise us up. So an idol is anything we look to outside ourselves to raise us up, where we are asked to come to within, to God's love, to raise us up. So how we awaken is the blocks are removed, and the blocks are judgments. So even defensiveness is judgments, and you'll probably start to see how defensiveness is judgment. So, but we're just going to focus on judgment. So I'll get Shannon to read and comment on this last paragraph here, and then we'll move on to something else that will support this. Thanks, Shannon.
Thanks, Cate. All figures in the dream are idols, made to save you from the dream. Yet they are part of what they have been made to save you from. Thus does an idol keep the dream alive and terrible. For who could wish for one unless he were in terror and despair. So interesting. I'm just going to comment here just because when he says all figures in the dream, he's literally saying everything we're perceiving. So there isn't anything when we're looking out that's not an idol, when we're looking from the ego perspective. And so the Holy Spirit comes in and shifts our perception and helps us to see that actually there's nothing that we need to lift us up because we're already perfect, we're already whole, we're already complete. And that's the beautiful shift that we can have when we don't judge. And this, the idol represents. And so its worship is the worship of despair and terror and the dream from which they come. Judgment is an injustice to God's Son, and it is justice that who judges him will not escape the penalty he laid upon himself within the dream he made. God knows of justice, not of penalty. But in the dream of judgment, you attack and are condemned, and wish to be the slave of idols, which are interposed between your judgment and the penalty it brings.
So, uh, look, I could uh, really decipher this as well, flesh this out a little bit, but I'm guided to really just focus in on um, a couple of very key ideas for this particular satsang. That we look for idols to save us from the dream, and nothing is going to save us except our turning within and realizing that within us is home, is heaven, is the love of God, is our true self. And what keeps the dream of judgment alive is the judgment in our mind, the ego judgment. So I'd like to go over to lesson 243. But before we do, I'd just like to take 5 minutes to let what we've just read permeate into your mind, marinate in your mind. So let's just sit quietly for 5 minutes. And I'm just going to repeat some words just so that they can really, really, really sink in. A dream of judgment came into the mind that God created perfect as himself. A dream of judgment came into the mind that God created perfect as himself. It is a dream of judgment. If I judge not, I will awaken. If I judge not, I will awaken. If I have no judgment in my mind, I will awaken. I will look in quietness and judge not. The path to awakening is by judging not. If I really want to awaken to the peace of God, I need to judge not. For the next week, I commit to, from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to sleep at night, watching the judgments in my mind and not joining them, letting them go, noticing them, letting them go, reminding myself, judge not, and I will awaken. You will be challenged. There will be lots of different judgments that you were unaware of. You want to put this under the magnifying glass, watching your mind throughout the day for any judgments. In the now, you can only do it in the now. Be mindful. Judge not, and I will awaken. Here is a very easy path to awakening. All I need to do is judge not, and my mind, will awaken. So just stay quiet. I'm not going to actually read lesson 243. I'm just going to read the actual line of the lesson. So stay quiet. Today, I will judge nothing that occurs. Today, I will judge nothing that occurs. When you wake up tomorrow morning, repeat this to yourself. Sit in meditation, quiet your mind, and tell yourself, today I will judge nothing that occurs. If you want to be free, if you want to have a mind of peace and happiness and contentment, you have to put this into practice. There's no other way. You have to be dedicated and willing to do this. It goes against everything that all egos believe. The ego believes that judgment is normal and right. And we are going to be doing something completely different. We are going to observe all the things that seem to occur, and we are going to judge them not. So I was given these couple of sections where he says, if you don't judge, you will awaken. That is the path. Watch the characters coming and going, whatever's occurring, and judge it not. Today, I will judge nothing that occurs. Nothing. Nothing. Can you get through a whole day where you have watched things that have occurred and not judged them? This is what he's asking us to do. So now let's take 10 minutes in quietness. So the prayer is, Holy Spirit, Jesus, for the next 10 minutes, show me where I am now currently judging. The judgments that I might have had in my mind in the last week or two. What happens is these judgments make the dream seem real. Without judgment, we will awaken that everyone is Christ. There's no bodies. It's a dream in the mind. It's a little dream that has no consequence. So let him show you why judgment holds the dream as real in your mind. So let's give 10 minutes now. Let him show you. Just ask him, show me where any judgment is, because I'd like to let it go. I want to be free. I want to have the peace of God. So I'm willing to let go of this judgment to have the peace of God. So let's sit quietly and let him show us what's still holding us in the dream of judgment. Okay. So you can sit down each day as you go through this next week and ask him to show you any judgment that's in your mind, or you can journal about it. Shannon, would you like to talk about judgment?
I have a snowblower outside of my window and it's really loud.
Oh, so you can't talk? Is that what you're saying? Oh. um, so what I was getting that also might be helpful, because he really wants us to focus on this. He really wants us to go through the whole day saying, today I will judge nothing that occurs. And he wants you to do it in with rules for decision, where you think about the happy day. So he wants you to think about the day you'd like to have. He wants you to see yourself happy, calm, peaceful, joyful, content, offering miracles to all our brothers, extending love, happiness, peace, and joy. Just seeing the Christ in everyone. And he wants us to really focus on letting go of judgment, noticing it and judging not. We need to be dedicated and willing. So these things all work together for good. The thinking about the happy day, putting the Holy Spirit and Jesus in charge of our day for our responses and decisions, noticing judgments, letting them go, blessing our brother, extending the miracle, God's love to them, to all, everywhere. He needs teachers. He needs his teachers. He needs the demonstration of it. He really does. He needs us to demonstrate this, to come from no judgment, to come from love, to let him speak through us. To awaken. So it's going to be a bit shorter today than the usual hour and a half. We'll be finishing up soon. So this video will be up again on YouTube if you wish to watch it back, with its very clear and short message. Judge not, and you will awaken. Today, I judge nothing that occurs. Nothing. I watch everything occurring, and I have no judgment on it. And in meditation, I ask him to show me anything in my mind that still isn't healed, and it's an idol. And as he says, the idol will betray us. So let him bring up anything that you need to let go of. Let him show you your responses. Let him speak through you if you need to respond. So rules for decision will be helpful as well. Say, you make all my decisions and responses. So he's asked me to just keep it very short and sweet, so you know exactly what your focus is for the week. Okay, just keep it simple. Okay, so Shannon, is it still noisy there? Okay, so thank you, everyone. That's it. If you, once again, if you'd like to put up anything in the Zoom to Miracles Facebook page about your experience in any of the weeks, whatever you've really practiced, I appreciate it. It helps everybody. Thank you, Shannon, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. Have a wonderful week. Not judging. Okay. Love you. Bye-bye.